All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into one of the biggest shifts happening in software right now, AI as a genuine hands-on co-pilot for DevOps and SRE professionals. We're talking about a fundamental change in how we build, test, and operate our systems. So, I want to kick things off with a direct question for you. Really think about your day-to-day, your pipelines, your on-call rotations, your testing cycles. Are they ready for this AI evolution? Because let's be honest, it's not a question of if this stuff becomes standard practice. It's a question of when. So let's take a look at what that actually means. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off at the very beginning with infrastructure. Then we'll move into quality and testing. After that, we'll jump into the high-stakes world of incident response, and we'll wrap up by looking at how AI helps us get way more efficient with our time and our money. All right, first up, AI-generated infrastructure. And we are talking about a massive speed up here, going from just an idea, a simple blueprint, to a fully functional reality in, well, seconds. For as long as I can remember, designing cloud infrastructure has been this incredibly complex puzzle. SREs, platform engineers, we've all had to manually juggle these three competing things: keeping costs down, performance up, and making sure it's reliable. It's a ton of work, right? It takes deep expertise and just a whole lot of painful trial and error. But this is where things get really wild. Imagine just describing what you need in plain English. Something like, hey, I need a scalable web app with zero downtime deployments. The AI takes that and boom, it generates production-ready Terraform or CloudFormation for you. And here's the kicker, it doesn't just stop there. It actually suggests ways to make it better, more secure, and cheaper before you even hit deploy. And the results? Well, they pretty much speak for themselves. You're provisioning way faster, you're slashing those little human errors that can cause big headaches, you get smarter resource use so you're not just burning cash, and maybe the best part, the whole system learns and improves with every single deployment. Okay, so we've built our infrastructure. Now, how do we make sure it actually works and stays working? Let's talk about the new quality engine. If infrastructure is about building things right the first time, QA is about making sure they stay that way. And AI is making that whole process way more intelligent. Man, this quote, it really hits home, doesn't it? For anyone who's ever sat there staring at a screen, just waiting for a test suite to finish before a big release. For so long, it's been this brutal trade-off. Do we move fast or do we move with confidence? Trying to do both has felt pretty much impossible. Okay, but this is how AI totally flips the script. It can generate test cases for you right from a user story. It can analyze past data to predict where bugs are most likely to pop up. And this one is my favorite, self-healing scripts. Think about it. A UI change breaks a test, and the AI just fixes it. That's a game changer. Plus, it intelligently prioritizes which tests to run based on risk, so you get the most important feedback first. So what's the big takeaway here? We are moving away from a world where testing is just this repetitive, manual chore. It's turning into this smart, continuous learning process that doesn't just find bugs, it helps your team understand why they happen. And that is how you build a real quality engine. All right, let's shift gears to something every SRE feels in their gut. That moment when things go wrong in production. This is where every single second counts, and AI is giving us a massive leg up in slashing that mean time to recovery, or MTTR. You know the feeling, right? The pager goes off and the pressure is just immense. The clock is ticking. Every moment an engineer spends digging through logs, jumping between dashboards, that's time that impacts your users, your revenue, your reputation. You're in a race against time, frantically digging for that one needle in a mountain of haystacks. But with AI, that frantic search turns into a guided investigation. It can spot weird behavior before it even becomes a full-blown alert. It instantly connects the dots between logs, metrics, and traces, and then tells you, hey, here's the probable root cause. It can even trigger automated fixes, like a rollback. The bottom line is, it gives the on-call engineer actual context, not just a wall of noise. When you boil it all down, the single biggest advantage is time. First, you get time saved in detection, finding that problem before it spirals completely out of control. Then, you get time saved in diagnosis by cutting through all that noise to get straight to what's likely wrong. And finally, all of that leads to time saved in recovery, getting your services back to your users faster. And that, right there, is the holy grail for any SRE team during an incident. All right, for our last section, we're going to look at efficiency from two different angles. We'll talk about money, optimizing cloud costs, And we'll talk about speed, accelerating how we deliver things. Ah, the cloud bill. This is that silent killer that just quietly drains your budget month after month. You know the drill. Over-provisioned servers, forgotten test environments, unused storage, it all adds up fast. The crazy thing about the cloud is that its flexibility also makes it super easy to waste money. This is where AI goes beyond just showing you a bill and gives you real cost intelligence. It's not just looking at past patterns, it's predicting future needs. It automatically right-sizes your resources so you're not paying for capacity you aren't using. It spots waste in real time. You can even simulate how much a change is going to cost before you make it, which is huge. Okay, so that's the money side. Now let's pivot and talk about the other side of efficiency, pure speed. And this is where another trend, low-code platforms, is making a massive difference by letting engineers build things visually instead of hand-coding everything from scratch.
And honestly, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you have your smartest, most expensive engineers bogged down with repetitive scripting and a huge backlog of simple internal tool requests. But with low-code, you free them up to focus on the stuff that really matters, solving the hard architectural problems, defining strategy, and shipping the big, high-value features.
And look, this is probably the most important point to understand in this whole conversation. These tools, AI and low-code, they are not about replacing engineers. They're about elevating them. By automating all the toil, the boring, repetitive, manual stuff, we free up our best people to be more strategic and more innovative. It's about making our engineers more powerful. It's augmentation, not replacement, period. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. As AI gets better and better at handling all this toil, the incident response, the testing, the infrastructure, what does the role of an SRE or a DevOps engineer actually evolve into? What is our new purpose when the robots are handling the grunt work? That's the big question we're all going to be answering together. Thanks for joining me.